Thank you very much. Good morning, and it's exciting to be here. It's my first time in the Drug Policy Week. So, we'll be talking generally about the technical assistance provided by Input. I won't fail to mention Input, and also Aditya. All the energy is spent in, making sure that this happens. Let's go. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the background. We had two technical assistance supports from Input on our rights, everybody's rights, and the funding was from UNAIDS, the Robert Carr Foundation, and the Love Alliance. Basically, it was aimed at promoting and advancing the community-led decriminalization agenda regarding people who use drugs and work towards addressing the punitive legal and policy environments that lead to the denial or limitation of access to services, and also build technical capacity of people who use drugs to advocate for decriminalization and drug law reform for a more enabling environment for people who use drugs, for access to health and social services and well-being. Okay, so this is what it took. We recognize that sometimes what we feel strongly about as activists might not generally be what every other person feels. So it was an inclusive process. We had 20 drug user activists. We could have had more, but for funding restrictions. We also felt that we should have someone from the government witness this and also make inputs, because we wanted to build something that would be acceptable to them also, that we can use to advocate with them. And the technical capacity we built was on the impact of criminalization, drug use, and human rights, the global AIDS strategy, and the political declaration. And at the end of it, we developed a 5-year roadmap for decriminalization by attendees of that program. This is the workshop pictures, few of it. So, this is the process of developing the legal environment scan. We developed the legal environment scan apart from also developing the advocacy roadmap. The legal environment scan was led and conducted by the Nigerian drug user community with support from Youth Rights Nigeria. We felt we should be as inclusive as possible. So since Youth Rights works on issues of drug use, we also invited Youth Rights to support us in this. We had introductory meeting with members of the drug user community, stakeholders from across Nigeria. We had a stakeholders briefing at the National Technical Working Group. Why we did this was because we wanted buy-in of stakeholders. The National Technical Working Group on Harm Reduction in Nigeria is a multi-sectorial stakeholders forum. Includes law enforcement, it includes people who use drugs, includes governments and academia and lots of other people. Okay, so after that we did a desk review of the laws on drugs and anything that affects drug use, including the Criminal Justice Acts. And then we had key informants interview in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. Nigeria is divided into 6 geopolitical zones. And so we had key informant interviews with drug user activists and people working on harm reduction. We also had focal group discussion with 10 drug user community members because we wanted to get the perspective of the people we are actually advocating for. We are privileged to be those who are at the top, talking for those who I would want to say are at the bottom, those on the streets. And so we needed to hear their voices. And so we chose the states of Gombe, Oyo, Abia, Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, Plateau, the Federal Capital, Kano, and Lagos. Some of the documents we used in developing the legal and policy scan included the Political Declaration on HIV/AIDS 2021, Global AIDS Strategy 2021 to 2026, the International Guidelines on Human Rights and Drug Policy 2019, the UNAIDS 2025 AIDS Targets, the African Union Plan of Action on Drug Control 2019 to 2023, the National Drug Control Master Plan for Nigeria, 2021 to 2025, and the NDLEA Act, Cap N30 of 1989, which was developed after the 1988 Drug Control Convention, and the Nigerian Constitution, and other strategic plans and acts, including the AIDS National Strategic Framework and others. So we came out with these two documents, one, the Advocacy Roadmap, and the Legal Environment Scan. These reports are available. Okay, these are the outputs. So what we did, we developed an advocacy plan. We identified the barriers to the achievement of the 10-10-10 and 80-60-30. We identified the stakeholders that we needed to advocate with, and we also identified opportunities for engagement with the stakeholders. These are the advocacy priorities we identified: decriminalization, integrated harm reduction services, and representation at decision-making spaces. What have been the successes? We've used this to advocate for integration of viral hepatitis, opioid substitution treatment, and CLM into HIV for drug users in the GC7, and thanks to Colin for the support. And then we went ahead. One of the things we identified was that we needed to be, as a network, be members of the IDPC. Right now we are members of the IDPC. We started the drug user community dialogue in Nigeria to talk about the effects of criminalization. And then also because we felt we needed a platform where people who use drugs and other people can go get information on the activities of the local drug user movement, we established the key population hubs. It's online and on social media too. Okay. And then representation. Between then, yeah, okay, so from when we developed that, we've achieved this. We've been included in the strategic knowledge management of the National Technical Working Group in Nigeria. We identified that as something we needed to achieve. We've been included in the National Technical Working Group Committee on Decriminalization. We pushed for that. And we also push for a committee on socioeconomic empowerment of people who use drugs, especially for people who use drugs on the street. We are also pushing for community distribution of naloxone, and we hope in the GC7 that will come to pass because we've included as a priority. We've also been accepted into the National Prevention Technical Working Group for the first time. We got that status 2 months ago. And the National AIDS Spending Assessment was also extended to the drug user community. The barriers and challenges, of course, insufficient funds for engagement with the National Assembly because, they want big places, big hotels, yeah. And then most of the stakeholders lack understanding of what harm reduction is basically about, and then discrimination of people who use drugs and people who use drug movement. Thank you.